So Miss Marvel was not the only show on Disney Plus that aired another episode. Like last week, we got another episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan dropped their 5th episode. And going into this episode, as you guys remember from last week, talking about episode 4, I had fun with it. It was breezy. It was an easy watch. It was enjoyable, but I ultimately felt like it was a setback for the whole series. I felt like they rinsed and repeated saving Leia again. I feel like it halted the story, and I was really nervous going into episode 5 because this show only has 2 episodes left, and I wanted to get back on my couch at 6 o'clock in the morning, waving my fist in the air, cheering at this show. And I'm very happy to say that indeed happened. So episode 5 starts off, and we get this beautiful picture, and right away, or at least I did, Coruscant. That's Coruscant. We're on Coruscant. This is it. This is the flashback. And yes, guys, while it wasn't a flashback episode necessarily the whole way, like it wasn't a full on episode of a flashback, the flashbacks did come. We did get them, and we got Hayden Christensen in the flesh. Look at him right there, back as Anakin Skywalker. It looks like we got a little bit. Actually, you know what? I don't think they de-aged either one of them. I thought they might have de-aged Obi-Wan a little bit, because Hayden, they definitely did not de-age, I don't think, at all. But we got Hayden, we got Obi-Wan. They're back in this flashback. They are sparring, they're training. And this is definitely before or during Attack of the Clones, because Anakin's got both of his flesh hands. And right away, I was just like, yes, 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 yes. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I wanted to see. And I really liked the way they used this flashback throughout the episode, because we got Darth Vader. We cut to him on the starship as they are tracking Obi-Wan and Leia on the planet of Jahib, I think it is. And he's reflecting back on this flashback of him and his old master sparring and practicing. And this whole flashback, you got Vader reminiscing on it. You've got Obi-Wan reminiscing on it. The flashback is used to parallel what Obi-Wan does throughout this episode, because he's hiding out with Leia and the rest of a group of people on Jahib. And Vader's coming. They're coming in full speed. Reva's coming. The stormtroopers are there. They're trapped in this bunker, and they've got no way out. And we got a little bit more with Reva in this episode that I thought was kind of interesting, because Obi-Wan, he tries to negotiate with Reva. I don't even want to say it was a reveal. I mean, everyone kind of knew it. We get revealed that one of the younglings at the beginning of episode 1 was indeed Reva. We get an awesome look at Hayden Christensen coming in as Anakin during Order 66, and he stabs young Reva, and she played dead so that she hid amongst her dead friends, felt them go cold. That was quite the line to say. Like, they actually showed Anakin this time around actually slashing the children too. Like in Revenge of the Sith, you just see that lightsaber come out, you see the aftermath, but you saw you saw some lightsabers going through some kids in this episode. It was a little dark, but we find out that Reva, she played dead to stay alive, and now she actually wants to kill Vader. She's not trying to get on his good side. Obi-Wan kind of calls her out. Obi-Wan's like, "Oh, you want to get Vader? I can help you get Vader. We can get Vader here, and I can help you take Vader out." And I was just kind of like, "Huh, interesting." I didn't feel like this show at all set up that Reva wanted to get Vader. Like, I guess it's a twist, it's a reveal, but I found that kind of interesting. And so yeah, this whole episode is kind of them hung out in the bunker. You got Obi-Wan and Reva talking back to back. But you know what? Vader came to play in this episode, guys. I absolutely loved what they did with Vader. Not just the flashbacks and having him reflect on him and Obi-Wan, seeing young Hayden Christensen, seeing Obi-Wan Kenobi again. Question I've always had about the prequels, and this will realistically never really be answered, is, was it George Lucas's direction, or was it simply Hayden Christensen's acting choices that gave a kind of wonky wooden performance throughout the prequel trilogy? In these flashbacks, in my opinion, Hayden Christensen got his redemption. I think Hayden Christensen played Anakin great in these flashbacks, whether it was just by Deborah Chow's direction, whether it was choices that he's grown as an actor that he's made differently than in the prequels. It was brief, but I really enjoyed Hayden Christensen's performance as Anakin in these flashback scenes. I wish we could have gotten that kind of performance throughout the whole prequel trilogy. But if Hayden Christensen, I wanted him to get his redemption. This was his redemption. I really enjoyed it. But Vader does come down to the planet. He eventually gets there. Obi-Wan uses Reva as a trap. He surrenders. He comes out. For some reason, they always handcuff them at the front. I don't know why Stormtroopers and the Empire does that. Like, why not do it behind their back? I just feel like Obi-Wan wouldn't be able to get away as well as he does. But he comes out, he surrenders himself, and him and Reva set up a plan. But Obi-Wan is using Reva. He's like, hey, Vader's coming for me. This is your chance. You can get Vader. And Obi-Wan slips away, gets in a ship, and Vader thinks he has the ship. This shot is epic. I love this shot. This framing of it is so good. Of Vader grabbing the ship and trying to hold it down, pull it down. Meanwhile, there's another ship behind it, which unbeknownst to us at the time, it's what Obi-Wan and the people are actually in. And it's a decoy. Vader tears that ship down, rips it apart to get inside. No one's there, and the ship takes off, which, first of all, yes, this shot is epic. Like I said before, I love it. Feel like Vader would have sensed a little bit more in the ship. Like, hey, there's no life forms in there. Like, I feel like it was a little bit too convenient of Obi-Wan to be able to pull that off of Vader. But because of the flashbacks, like I said, they were paralleling Obi-Wan's plan the entire episode. And in the flashbacks, it's established Anakin, he's very narrow minded. He goes in with anger. He goes in with one objective, and he doesn't play out all the other scenarios that could be played out that his opponent is planning. And Obi-Wan uses that against Vader. Vader comes in hot and heavy, and because of that, they're able to get away. And then Reva, the big stupid idiot that she is, I couldn't believe she was doing this. She comes up behind Vader. She's got the her spinny lightsaber thing or whatever. She ignites it. She goes to hit Vader, and Vader immediately doesn't even turn around. He just uses the Force to defend himself from the lightsaber. And I was like, Reva, you are a dead girl. You are dead. And we get this fight between Vader and Reva. Vader, what I love about this fight so much is that Vader isn't really even trying to kick Reva's butt. He's just effortlessly doing it. He's using the Force. He's not even using his lightsaber. He's just tossing her around with the Force. It was perfect because Reva can't stand a chance against Vader. And I was worried that they were going to have this equally set match at first. But no, Vader's tossing her around like a rag doll. Eventually, he gets her lightsaber out of her hands, breaks it in two, throws the other side down, and they have an actual sparring match. And then in the category of a twist that's not so much a twist, the Grand Inquisitor comes out. He's not dead. And Vader stabs Reva through the stomach. She's down on the ground. Vader leaves her to die. Him and the Grand Inquisitor leave. And this part kind of bothered me because I was like, there it is. Reva's going to die. She tried to kill Vader like an idiot. She dies because of it. And she's lying there on the ground. She's just been stabbed through the gut. And she starts crawling towards the communication device that Obi-Wan left behind, that Bail Organa sent him because he's getting worried. He hasn't heard from Obi-Wan in a while. Feels like he might have to go check on Luke on Tatooine. And she's crawling over to get this device. And then she's laying there on her side, and she's just kind of watching it. And I was just like, are you going to die at any time? Like, is she going to live through this? Like, how does she live through it? Even the Grand Inquisitor, when Reva stabbed him through the gut, and he comes in this episode, they just casually, they don't even address it. He's just like, oh, you'd be amazed how alive you can stay when you have so much rage and anger and revenge on your mind. And I'm like, really? That's your explanation? So Reva is still alive for who knows how long. She's got the communication device, and Obi-Wan starts sensing, he's like, something's wrong. Something's not right. And that's kind of where the episode leads off. And I really, really, really liked this episode. I thought it was a lot of fun. Loved the Vader carnage. I loved the way that Obi-Wan used his old teachings and knowledge of Anakin against Vader to get away from him this time around. But the ending did leave me a little worried because they show a shot of Luke laying in bed. And I don't want Reva to go to Luke. I don't want Reva to go to Luke. I don't want Darth Vader to go to Luke. I don't want empire, any evil person to go to Luke in this show, because to me, Luke had no experience personally with this when we get to him in A New Hope. He's longing for adventure. He longs for this, but he's never had a taste of it. At least you get that kind of, at least I get that kind of sense from Luke in the original Star Wars movie. If they have Luke at some point in this movie or in this show, you know, held on by the collar with a lightsaber to his neck, and Obi-Wan has to come and save Luke, I feel like that would completely obliterate canon. Hopefully they don't do that. Hopefully they know better. Hopefully and who knows, maybe they do it, or maybe they find a way to make it work. But right now I'm really worried about bringing Luke into the narrative like it looks like they're going to do in episode 6. I'm also a little worried of how they're going to pull off episode 6 and how they're going to end this entire series. But as far as episode 5 went, I had a ball with it. I had a blast. Definitely a step up from episode 4. Furthered the story more than episode 4 did. And now we are going into this finale. I don't know if we're going to see Hayden Christensen again. I kind of want more from him. If all we get is this flashback, I think he did a very good job in it. Redemption for Hayden Christensen. Yes, thank you so much. But if this is all we get, I'll be satisfied. I do want a little bit more. But going into the finale, guys, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think with this episode, I thought it was very good. I think they have a chance of pulling it off. What did you guys think of episode 5 of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Did you like it as much as I did? A little less? Not at all? Comment down below. Let me know. I want to know all your thoughts and opinions about this episode, guys. And without further ado, let's take a look at what you guys are saying.